Howdy! We thank you in for tuning in to a little bit of a special broadcast for CIL. We're starting a little bit late here due to difficulties we had with map bans, as well as some difficulties on the side of Prod, but we got it all solved here. I'm joined here tonight with Hax. Go ahead and say hello, Hax.
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me once again. Just a quick announcement, we are short on casters, so if you do have the casting role for the CIL, we do encourage you to please let us know when you are free so we can have some extra voices on the CIL League. I know you guys want to hear me over and over every week or every game, so, do appreciate it. Love you guys, and thank you for having me.
And going straight away into the map picks here, we're actually looking at an R&D first that was picked by Burnsiders, with the second map pick going in the quarry with a decider going into a best 2 out of 3 coin toss for either UCC or Colony. We had some issues with mapban.gg, and as a result, Colony was actually not shown on the map picks. This led to some issues. Unfortunately, we were not able to correct it. So the third map, once it does get to that decider, or if it does get to that decider, will be done either on UCC or Colony through coin toss, with both teams doing a best 2 out of 3. We're already getting into unit bans as well right here, with For Fun banning Z2M right off the bat.
So that's
Now,
Z2M ban, right? Who is it targeted? Is it, I believe... Let's see, on Burnsiders, who plays the Z2M, Garma?
oh, off the top of my head, it could be Deathy Man. It could be, I believe, Overdrive. These are some names I actually haven't recognized on Burnsiders. Russell Hobbs, Overdrive, and Gooey New Bro. The last names, I've heard it, but honestly, all these players, or at least 3 of the players new for Burnsiders, I've actually never seen play before. So I'm very interested to see even if the Z2M ban will even make a difference. With Portland opting now to ban Susan, a very strong unit. We've seen a lot of the top teams put out Susan, and it's been doing just absolute wonders in comps, just putting out immense damage. We've seen really good Susan players such as Droid, Derpitar, Hockey, even I think Soccer as well at Sync. I think they've played Susan a little bit, unless I'm mistaken, but Susan is a very strong ban off the side of Portland.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to see R&D losing 2 really strong melee units, knowing that, Barbados did get nerfed throughout the most recent patches, and also Exia is not in the greatest spot, so it's really interesting to see, you don't see a Pale ban or a Z2R ban, so a lot of DPS and hit scan units are free to play during this R&D game, so it's going to be great to see a lot of, long range fights, a lot of height control, and really, more precise gunplay, right?
Mm-hmm. So I'm actually curious to see if we'll see possibly a double flyer comp. We've seen with Zeta and Ash being very powerful, especially on maps such as Colony, R&D, or Conveyance as well. So I'm genuinely curious, especially with Susan and Melee Band as well. Some of the best 2 units to use in a melee comp. With that other question, we might possibly see, again, maybe a double flyer, possibly triple shield or quad shield if they really wanted to with Saz, Hype, Dynamez, and Zeta. Or even just run a pure DPS comp with like Z2R, a Pale, another Ash in there, maybe even a Heavy Arms. So it looks like you are going to hopefully see some more DPS heavy comps from both sides of these teams, knowing that the strongest melee suits are out of the game right now.
Perfect. And I believe that both teams are ready, so we should be transitioning here in a bit. We do apologize for the delay, but we're getting straight into the action.
This is a domination mission.
R&D, baby. The good
So
old R&D.
R&D, this map does have a lot of memories. I know it definitely has a lot of fond memories for you when you played for Gulag. And as we see the beautiful all 6 matching portraits and profile icons off the side of For Fun. But R&D, it definitely has a lot of fond memories for me. It's been always one of my favorite maps as someone who loves to play Ashamar or even Pale and Z2R on some occasions. I'm sure you definitely have some fun memories of playing in the 20K and the Gulag tournament as well. If you don't mind sharing some of those stories on stream for us.
It's definitely nice to see this map because you kind of really don't know what units are going to be thrown at you. I fought Exias and Z2Rs from gun tanks and heavy arms, you know, and then obviously you're gonna have your Pales and Gundams, but the fact that, you know, you could run any shield unit, any DPS, any melee, and really make it work just depending on the team, with proper rotations and kind of just knowing your positioning. R&D will always be the fan favorite, and we talk about all the time because we play R&D most CIL matches and even just tournaments in general. So always nice to see R&D. We love coming here. This is like the home turf for all teams. So if you're a team in the CIL, you definitely want to be practicing your R&D. And we're about to start off in 1.
So taking a look at these unit comps, looks like both teams are running a Barb and Zeta, as well with an Ash on the side of For Fun, and as well as the heavy arms on the side of Portland Burnsiders, as they now try to begin to take hill control. Mr. Hockey doing excellent zoning there with that Ash, keeping the molly from Portland, taking hill control here.
Yeah, it looks like Burnsiders over here does have the man advantage, or yeah, it goes down actually. So For Fun does have the man advantage initially with Sweet Peanut Butter and Leo, especially on the Barb, doing a lot of work. Burnsiders does get some trades, but For Fun does get the initial C point.
And it seems like we do see a double player comp pop out here on the side of For Fun. Portland trying to touch point there. Looks like For Fun still doing a very strong hold here. That Saz also putting in a lot of work of just existing on point. The Saz is definitely one of the biggest units here on the field. 400 health, another no, not 400, sorry, 1400 health, another 1400 on the shield. Very tanky suit, and you would expect the Barb to be putting in a lot of work, but we see Lacrum hasn't necessarily been doing a whole lot of effectiveness on that Barb with only a 30% ult charge.
Can we actually just mention, right? They do have an Exia, right? So Burnsiders is running a double melee comp, and also we see Sweet Peanut Butter on the Mahiru. So it's definitely an interesting set of picks here, Karma. And to not see Lacrum counter Sweet Peanut Butter on Mahiru is very interesting.
Sweet Peanut Butter, definitely one of the strongest Mahito players in the league currently, and one of the strongest players in general. I've had the opportunity to fight against them, and they've, in some occasions, out-damaged my team. So it's very interesting to see like how Sweet Peanut Butter has become like one of the top players for this league on such a unique suit, might I add, especially with one where players tend to complain about some of the projectiles. See Russell getting a nice 2-pick there on both Sweet Peanut and Unruly. Both of these DPSs are down. Sharker getting a pick on the Russell again. For Fun looks like they're already taking control over A point. That Saz is still just existing. Managed to just maintain control of point there pretty strongly.
Definitely For Fun looking like in great shape, but Burnsiders is definitely not out for the count. You can see them kind of holding on and hopefully get most of the team back here. We see Russell back and Lacrum fighting in for the point. Looks like leaving Leo solo while he gets killed by 3 of them, but the Flyers are here. Most of the team is back, but C9 does happen pretty quickly. The Ash Punch does go out.
Looks like they are managing to just barely hold point here quite effectively. We see Lacrum do pop the Barb ult to contest it, just to make sure no one crosses that point. Goes up to maybe get a little bit of observation here. Tries to get... that's a little bit of a weird to stay in that long, especially as a Barb, but I'm genuinely surprised he managed to not get shot down as well. Taking a look at the ult usage here. We see Russell with Transam ready. We see the Zeta ult ready. We did see Barb ult come out earlier, and we see the Z2R ult ready. On the side of For Fun, we see 4, now 5 ults at the ready here, with Ash Punch getting used previously.
Yeah, so right over here, For Fun's going to be contesting mainly the B point. You know, Burnsiders does lose a couple people, but they're going to get back shortly. But the fact that For Fun has so many Ju maneuvers ready at their willpower means that this B point is going to be definitely hard to take for Burnsiders.
Well, and we already did see these Zeta ult come out, but nothing really came much of it. We do see Unruly popping the Hades here. Managing to get some picks with it, some damage in, but haven't seen anything too notable with it. They still do have a very strong hold here, though. So it seems like For Fun is in a very good situation.
Ooh, Valid with a triple. There. Wow.
And Deathman Gunyu also getting a nice quad pick there. Lacrum finishing off. It's just Shark right now left, so he's going to have to be forced to wait for his team to respawn in.
Essentially, that's a total team kill, right? Valid did set up the positioning for that Z2R ultimate to really allow, you know, Burnsiders to get the rest of this B point for the most part.
Seems like they're all staggering in now slowly. We do see the Amato come out. It might see some effectiveness here with the small hallways. Cowardly does get a kill with the heavy arms ult. Leo gets 2 and does manage to go down, unfortunately, by the Zeta here. Just a little bit of percentage.
does take it. 4 seconds left on the point. We are going to be rotating to the C point over here. Looks like most of For Fun is alive, but Burnsiders is going to be regrouping here shortly, kind of taking this height control. With Crowley definitely, holding down the front lines. And now you notice the Barbados and Z2 are kind of sneaking in the middle, trying to get those early picks on.
That does happen, especially in a lot of higher tier levels of play. We do see the Z2R and Barb tend to stick together, but already they're kind of separated a little bit there. We do see them regrouped again to hopefully try and take control of point. We do see the Zadol come out, but it just misses their Shark Ray. Ended up must have whiffing or misclicked and went right into the hill. We now see Control Oversee going in the favor of For Fun here. Both Flyers are doing a very excellent job of keeping the point off. Though the Ash does go down, Portland now is actually making a great use of the space there, especially with the Zeta ult.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing For Fun stagger essentially. 3 of them are down, and it's definitely anyone's favor now because the percentage is so short, right? It's about 16% difference, and the C point if the Burnsiders holds it, it's gonna touch 92.7%, and then it's gonna go straight into OT. G maneuvers are looking a little light on both sides, but they're coming up shortly, so we're about to see a slugfest in the next few seconds.
You might possibly see a Barbel. Z2R is up on the side of Portland. We could see an Ash Punch here, maybe even a Hades too if it cops out soon enough by the end of Unruly. We do see the Ash Punch come out by Mr. Hockey. Does manage to get 2 punches with Leo following up. Very useful. They're now down 3, down 4. Hikaze doing in very useful work on that Saz there. Managed to get pretty much a bunch of space that Portland is just giving them, and the Barb, their Barb has not been doing a whole lot. We do see the Barb come out, but it just got punched out of the land there, it seems like.
Yeah, that retake was amazing, but Valid with the Z2R ult taking out Hikaze really fast, even if he popped the Saz funnels. Looks like they're going to try to trickle in.
Pick here as well with Hades, gets another pick. Zeta finishing off the Mato. It seems just like a very big slugfest here. We do see Leo's Barb ult pops out. Manages to find a pick here. Not quite the finish. They might begin to stagger in again. No. Looks like that first point is going to them. That was a very close first game.
Very close, yes. It was definitely, in the chance of whose ultimate was getting what, right? If you missed your ultimate, you missed that pick, that might have been the game changer. So
that's what
very
we're
intense.
seeing a lot here with both of these teams. We're seeing, some decent team fights here, but it seems like not a whole lot of people are landing good ults. I do see some decent punches from both sides, and maybe a good Hades or 2 here from Unruly. But it seems like we didn't really get to see a whole lot of ults that stood out, something that showed real dominance from other teams. I'm hoping to see that more either from the side of For Fun or Portland. I know they both have some good players, so I'm very curious to see if we'll see some more impactful ults, especially from like Zeta or Hades.
Yeah, so the ults that we've seen that did a lot of work was Valid Z2R ult on B point, and Leo Kuhn's Barbados ult also on B point. The Guntake ult, Deathy Man's did go out. The teams are going to be very aware of the core fighters, but definitely good to reiterate that we did see a couple Ash punches go here and there. Zeta ults definitely need to be more fruitful in terms of grabbing 3 or 4 targets. So hopefully we could see them lock in and really use the G maneuvers to its max potential.
Taking a look at the damage here, we do see on the side of Portland, pretty much everyone being around roughly the same, and almost everyone on the side of For Fun crossing over the threshold of 10k minus Hikaze on the Saz. And let's see the fight over for A point here goes strongly in the favor of For Fun. Very good control over here of Hill over here. Flyers also maintaining a lot of aerial rain, preventing a lot of other units or players from getting in. It's just now Shark Ray kind of by him, or no, I'm sorry, Overdrive and Deathy Man now having to regroup for hill control.
Now, can we mention, Garma, both teams actually switched to Dom.
That is another pick I just now noticed. Dom is a very interesting pick here because the unit, from what I've played on, at least on this map, it's good, but it's not great, especially when you're trying to take hill control. As trying to land those directs against like an uneven terrain, especially on an uphill target, can be really difficult. Now once you have hill control, it's such a strong unit, and especially on B site as well, where those mines, especially in such a small space, can actually deal a bunch of damage. But I think for both A and C point, it's a solid unit, but not something I would typically run with. Seeing both teams use it here though, I think we might see something trying to be done, especially with the Dom ult that they get. That Screaming Nimbus is always a very strong ult that you get with the speed boost and armor here.
Yeah, very interesting. Now that we see, the Lacrum cam back on Mahiru, he's about to show some work on the what is relatively, everyone considers his main unit. For the most part, For Fun does get most of the initial first point, and now they're going to be rotating height. But Burnsiders does get that like melee 5%, which could be a game changer right over here.
Taking a look over at ult usage too, since we are getting into our second point here. Looks like almost everyone on the side of For Fun will get their ult or is very close to, whereas the side of Portland, we see some people also getting a little up there. We see a Z2R, maybe the gun tank, but on the side of For Fun, we are going to see a Hades and Ash, a Zeta, maybe a Dom and Barb and Sassoon as well. So they are definitely playing a lot stronger compared to the last round, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, they're going to be trying to, going for the tight control, but man, For Fun's really holding this. They're definitely not fighting solo, right? You're always grouped up with the buddy, and that's really how you should play the game. But quick C9, right? They took it back really fast. Burnsiders now holding the C point with 25 seconds left. Looks like they're going to get the res off for Shark Beret, even though he did go down. So they did not essentially finish the kill, which allows the team to, regroup a lot faster. Maybe we'll see a retake, but with only 15 seconds left, we'll see if they start rotating the B shortly.
Yeah, especially when you do happen to lose a site on either C or A, and it's a B site, you want to probably rotate soon. I mean, granted, just with any point control or domination map, you need to rotate off site quickly to regain control. On this map, I'd argue you want to get set up as a team, especially on B site soon, because there's such a small corridor and you need to take control. We do see Deathman manage to get 2 picks there with the gun tank ult. Not quite, doing a whole lot there though, because he does manage to get stunned by the Zeta ult. Does manage to just barely get alive there.
Yeah, so the funnels did end up catching the Zeta, right? So, and essentially, Zeta ult does go out, but he does die because those funnels do a lot of damage. And people don't realize that Sasabi ult could really, change the factor of the game. Looks like Crowley over here with the Screaming Nimbus does overheat, trying to hold that forefront. But Burnsiders is definitely holding this B hallway main choke with Mahiru, spamming those bombs. It's really hard to enter. But the Screaming Nimbus does go out.
We do see 2 picks here with Sweet Peanut Butter. You see the Barb also managing to do some work in there on getting the finishes on some of the other units here. They do manage to take site. However, it did cost them exactly 3 ults. They do have Punch and they do have Barb ult, but I disagree, I think, with using 3 ults there. I think you only favored them to use the Screaming Nimbus and the Pale Hades to even take that site. I feel like the Zeta ult is a little bit too much overkill.
With pairing the Screaming Nimbus with the Hades, I mean, Unruly has so much, movement speed is going to be a hard target to hit. And, for the most part, it was almost a team wipe, and you saw Unruly do a little emote over here earlier, right?
Yeah, we do see the Ash Punch also come out to confirm a kill on the Crumb. I do also firmly disagree with that ult usage, especially now. They're going to be down ult percentage against on the next point here up on A. We do see Deathman coming up on another gun tank here. We will see the Z2R ult as well soon. And then Lacrum also a little over halfway to the Mato Rendo nades now.
Yeah, it looks like Barb over here is dancing with Exia, and about all the teams are going to be up and fighting for this last A point. Looks like we're going to see some G maneuvers go out. Leo Kun does find 1, and 3 do go down from Burnsiders. For Fun is up 3v6 on the points.
Looks like the Barb ult now coming out. No one on the side of Burnsiders does manage to take in their ult currently. We do see the gun tank and Ash trying to fight for control, but they're going to get staggered out here. And that is going to be that first game For Fun.
Yeah, a lot of action, a lot of team fights, but it definitely just comes down to which team you notice that are kind of fighting as a whole group. I know essentially Burnsiders comp is a lot of flanky units, right? But the fact that they are spread out all the time risk the fact that they can get staggered. So definitely, For Fun was holding it down as a team. But we still have game 2, right? Map 2, which is going to be Quarry. And MVP over here. Let's see.
Going to Shark Beret.
Shark Beret. So I was waiting for the delay of the changing back to the current rankings. But yes, Shark Beret with the MVP.
All right. Before we do happen to get into unit bans, we're going to go ahead and confirm with both teams to make sure that they do not want to change out any players. Otherwise, if they are going to stick with their current players, then it looks like we might possibly see similar unit bans. As for Corey, I am expecting.
Let me see. Let me make sure. So for Quarry, we're
Corey for
going
fun
to
is picking
see.
attack.
Yes, For Fun is on attack first.
Alrighty, so with for fun on the attack, I'm actually curious to see if we will see a Susan ban here. Again, Susan just being a very strong unit as well, or maybe even a Saz ban with the shield, especially having to take control over that first waypoint.
I feel like a very underrated unit in Quarry, in my personal pick, would be Dynamis. So I would say personally, like you would see a Marisai ban if they have a great Marisai player, a Dom shooting rockets or an Ashmore Napalm would definitely do a lot of damage. So Quarry is the type of map where you blitz the team and do as much damage as you can just to take them off that waypoint and enter through that first site. So it's gonna be a very interesting choice of map or of unit bans. We're gonna see if they target someone individually or kind of pick a well-rounded suit like Pale and really knock out anyone kind of abusing those comps.
And it looks like Portland is going out to ban Mahuro. It seems like this is interesting considering the Crumb is a Mahuro player, but knowing Sweet Peanut Butter, being that is one of the strongest units that they do play, I feel like that is a safe ban that you can make, especially on Corey.
Yeah, that first choke or really, any position where there's hallways, Sweet Peanut Butter is gonna be cooking on that Mahuru. So definitely a great ban choice. Wasn't expecting it at first, but it does make a lot of sense.
I'm actually curious, knowing that the Mahuro is now banned, what other oh no, it looks like we already are actually going into another Z2M ban here instead of for fun.
Looks like Sus is gonna be running wild.
Now I'm actually curious to see if which either team will be running Sus, or if it'd be like a little gentleman's agreement. No one's going to be running Susan because we all think that unit sucks.
Yeah, until you realize that he just gets in there, anyone that's low, 2 free kills, and he gets out for free jail card,
It's a very strong unit, especially on attack. Defense, I haven't necessarily seen the unit that great unless you're going to be holding specifically site. I could be wrong though. I've been proven wrong in the past before by units. I've said, oh, I think Susan is kind of mid, and then I see people do absolutely wonders with it. I've seen people kick ass with Dom when I've said that that suit was kind of a little bit mid. So I'm just curious to see how people will run with suits that I always think are bad. In the last game, we did see an Exia get picked out. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see a whole lot of great usage with it, but who knows, we might see some good unit picks here.
Okay, so we are on to our second game of Quarry for the night. For Fun is up 1-0, and we're just going to see a lot of action on Bomb Plant.
Yep, seems like none of the teams have swapped out any players, so we are going to be running with the same players from the last game. Wonder if there's going to be any difference in unit comp changes. We might see more of a dive comp or something more of like a shield breaker comp, something like that.
Yeah, speaking right away, I mean, Mr. Hockey insta-locking the Susanoo now that it is out of jail. And I'm not too familiar if anyone's gonna really stick to these suits, but we see Crowdley on the GM Sniper. We might see Unicorn. We definitely see the Zetas coming out, and Pales. Both Pales are out, so no Pale jail, right?
Yeah, Zeta, I think, is definitely one of these stronger units as well. And then Leo also bringing out the Gym. I think definitely one of the most underrated units of all time being Gym. Everyone kind of shat on it season 1, season 2, a little bit of season 3. But then around season 4 to now, or I guess, yeah, season 3 to now, we've been seeing more uses with the suit itself just due to the fact that it has so much potential to stay alive for so long. And for choke points such as this Quarry first choke, that shield, the heal grenade, and even the little C4 molly it has, I think those are very, very highly contestable things that you can use in your kit to waste away time for the other team. As well as with them having one of the quickest building ults for the little mines, that's just another thing the enemy team has to shoot at to, again, waste time. So
Yeah, the
it's a very interesting pick
sustainability.
here.
The sustainability of Gym is unthinkable, right? You have the heal grenade. The shield does so much defense, and the fact that they're running 2 shields and assists is going to be very interesting and very annoying, right, to play against. So
Technically 3, because don't forget Zeta also is running a shield here.
oh yeah, 3 shields. So it looks like over here they're just moving in shortly. Looks like a Hikaze does get Russell off the rip, so it's going to be a 5v6 starting off on the defense side.
We now see Hikaze Asorin in here, focusing down the Saz. Does manage to eat some of the Molly there, but already 2 of the backlaners there around site are already low. It's just Crowley now by himself. He's going to get pushed back and already taken out for possibly a little bit of an early stagger here off the side for fun. Taking this point very aggressively.
Yeah, so as the staggered teams do come in, they're kind of split more on the bomb plants. Looks like relatively it's going to be for B, as most of Burnsiders does skip past A.
Yeah, as both teams here are splitting, we are trying to hopefully see if we can maybe find a bomb plant here soon. No, not both barbs, sorry. We do see a barb out on the side of Portland, but it hasn't been too useful here, it seems like. It's mainly ratting, but it's not diving in, trying to be as aggressive as we do see other barb players here. For fun now getting a plant on the side of B.
Yeah, it looks like 53 seconds are on the timer, and all teams are up. So essentially, you know, this is going to be who can get those next 2 to 3 picks. But Mr. Hockey does find Overdrive, leaving it a 6v5 over here. No one's necessarily fighting through hallway. Everyone's kind of fighting through that right side, that right main point. Very interesting to see kind of, you know, everyone fighting on one corner of the map.
Yeah, it looks like it hasn't been too effective here on the Portland side, even though they're all trying to rush in. It is a little bit of a fatal funnel here as they do try to make their way onto site. Or maybe I'm stand corrected, we do see both Deathman and Overdrive push their way onto site, but they're being contested into that little heal pod. Only being contested by the one gym, and we also unreleased Pale as well. They do try to go for a defuse, but nothing really comes up of it because they are managing to hold the site pretty well from the height advantage here, it seems like.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, a few of them drop. I know we saw Crumbs Mines kind of bite him in the back over here, but, you know, really definitely clutching up and killing that person, diffusing. It's just very nice to hold that height control because essentially, you know, you could pick anyone off the planner.
Don't forget that height control specifically for that last site they did plant on. There are grates in the floor that you can see, not just bomb, but also other units below you. So having that control, being able to see who's below you, is pretty nice, and being able to shoot through the floor.
And look at you know, For Fun's instantly at the waypoint. Russell is trying to hold it on Z2R, but just back out because it does get weak. Looks like they do have full control of the waypoint with 4 minutes on the clock left, and we're gonna see if they can, you know, push through.
Barb Slane, we do see the Barb Slane and the Zadol do come out here. Goon managed to get 2 picks combined with the Russell's pick on the Saz as well. But For Fun, looks like, oh nope, looks like they just now lost waypoint. So it seems like Portland did manage to use 2 ults for that waypoint. I feel like that's a little too many ults there just to retake waypoint when they still have 3 minutes and 30 seconds still left on the clock here.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to see some great G maneuvers just because, you know, both teams do have, for the most part, 3 and 4 G maneuvers up. Essentially, you know, what do you do here? Do you fight for the waypoint? Do you get a sneak plant on A or B? There's a lot of routes to take, and it looks like they're essentially splitting up with the Screaming Nimbus going out.
We do see the Screaming Nimbus come out, both now actually coming out. Seems like the Crumb was the only one to use it on his side. We didn't see anyone else to pair it with, whereas Sweet Peanut Butter managed to pair it with 3 other teammates, and that armor does do a lot of effectiveness when you're trying to push through a choke, especially in that scenario. We do see a plant come out onto the B site. For Fun is now getting set up, and Portland is coming out of spawn here slowly, though. Some of them are trying to spawn in.
What's intense, right? We didn't really see Mr. Hockey on the cam, you know, plan B, but I think he was fighting a few people when he ended up, you know, planning it all on his own. So great job for him. He did die, but now he's back with his G maneuver, with his Trans Am doing work, getting those kills, and getting the extra armor really to stay alive.
You see Overdrive managed to sneak a waypoint capture. Maybe we might happen to see a bit of another flank or possibly a punch that comes out of him for site control here. Shark Rage just by himself. The punch does not connect though, but they do manage to get out Overdrive to now hopefully defuse.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be close. 5 seconds left. Looks like Lacrum is going to be defusing at 1 second. Can Mr. Hockey save it? And they get the defuse.
A very close job by Mr. Hockey there, managing to trying to take site, deals much damage to get diffuser off, but nothing really came up of it. It looks like they might be able to get site control if they do take care of these Ashe though, and they're already planning Shark Ray, trying to keep that Ashe occupied, so looks like Unruly did manage to get a plant there. Great teamwork there by both Shark Ray and Unruly, managing to sneak in that ball plant despite the Ashe having control over it.
Yeah, definitely. But Burnsiders defusing that bomb early on, I mean, saved them a bunch of time. If they do go into overtime, right? A bomb plant is a full minute. So essentially, if they did get that bomb plant off, they would have had around 3 minutes for their OT. But now it looks like it's going to go down to under a minute, or let's see if Burnsiders could defuse.
And Mr. Hockey there, we did see him win the duel 1v2 against the waypoint capture here, so he did manage to hold it for his team. That's a very good job to contest it again. Shark Ray also now having to kill the Barb on the waypoint, but he does manage to lose it, so For Fun is now going to have to recap waypoint here or hold site. Portland doing a very solid job at holding off for bomb here.
Yeah, this is really scary right here. We only see Leo in the gym and the Saws holding it down. Sweet Peanut Butter does have the Screaming Nimbus going out and GM mine, so it's going to be a very hard B defuse plant as you're going to eat those mines, and really just wow.
Yeah,
perfect defense.
We did see the Barb ult come out there, but it didn't really see any picks. And Barb, even when you are ulting, you are still vulnerable in that state. Sure, it is very hard to hit you, but if you take any straight hit, especially from the mines, from Dom or Jim, those can deal a lot of damage if they all hit you at once. And I think having to ult into that position was just really, really bad luck on their Barb's end. Taking a look at some of the damage here from both teams, we do see, honestly, a little bit of split similarities here. Some people tied for 15, maybe even around in the 10k or 12k as well. But just For Fun pumping in a lot of damage numbers on their end, with pretty much everyone except the Hikaze on Saz pumping well over 10, 12, even some people above 15k damage. On the side of Portland Burnsiders, it's a little bit more disparate. We see one person, that being Lacrum, on the 15k, and the rest of the team below him, 2 people at 9 and 7k respectively. So it would be nice to see a little bit more damage come up on the side of Portland. We've seen some pretty good defensive hold by them, but it seems like For Fun just coming out with a lot of raw damage and control, especially some of the unit picks we've seen.
And now, speaking of unit picks, right? We do see a new Gundam, Deathy Man, on Burnsider's side. Very interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, as far as new being played in comp for some of the last games, we haven't honestly seen new get played a whole lot, and I think it's just because he got nerfed very hard right around the middle end of Season 2. Right after the suit was introduced, and it was one of the strongest units I think in the game at the time.
Yeah,
and now
agreed.
It's not, too strong. Again, one dash, it's still a very tanky 1300 level suit, but the damage from it just isn't as effective as it used to be.
It's definitely an interesting pick because I believe that, with new funnels, it's definitely easy to clean up kills, but the ultimate is going to compensate for their team composition, not running any shields, actually. Besides, yeah.
Burnsiders trying to make space on that left side. Russell managed to get 3 off of waypoint, but it seems like the team was not able to capitalize quick enough off that. They are trying to get in some picks. Liu-kun on Jim actually managing to finish off Lacrum, but they do manage to get revived. However, you are still wasting time by forcing the enemy team to revive and wait for the choke push again. So it's still very excellent hold here on the side of For Fun for now. We see again Russell trying to dive in, taking 2 off. Portland, you have to push up now. Russell pushed up for you, but it seems like no one else is able to push in quick enough or dive quick enough. Looks like the focus here on the side of Portland isn't where it needs to be right now. For Fun has that locked in, but Portland cannot seem, for the life of them, to agree on a target that they need to pick.
Yeah, it looks like this 3-3 split that For Fun is using is very, very implemental because you have 2 more teammates to kind of help you back and shoot. And essentially, breaking the barrier, you're still getting shot from the other side, right? Because essentially it's doing a crossfire, and, Russell is going in to get in some kills. Liu-kun does kill 1. Looks like it's going to be a 4v4 on the waypoint. They are capturing the waypoint now. I believe For Fun does back up off this. And now we are defending the bomb sites.
Still very strong defensive hold. For Fun still holding back around the A site here. The B plant does manage to go out, but nothing really comes up of it. For Fun now getting knocked down. It seems like they weren't able to respond or back up quick enough to give Portland that much space as they needed to respect them. And now they already pretty much have A control. It seems like Lecrum planting does manage to get finished here. Very good job by Mr. Hockey to finish that.
Yeah, overdrive with the G maneuver here. If you're looking at the G maneuver, right, we do see a couple come out. We know Deathy Man has that pyramid, hopefully using it to get a plant off. But for the most part, everyone's just trying to find their picks.
Yeah, that new period is especially still strong on a lot of destruction maps for just preventing a lot of damage and
Here it is. Speaking of the new pyramid. Oh, does not defend the overdrive resurrect.
There looks like they aren't able to get a plant at all. Kaze just barely managing to stay alive there with a little bit of shield against Deathyman's new. It seems like For Fun has this hold pretty well done here with just a little under 2 minutes left.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, they're trickling in. We see the Mr. Hockey G maneuver go out with their Trans Am, definitely putting in work. Burnsiders is definitely going to be sneaking A, but does not get it close enough. And the new Deathy Man does go down.
Now see Lecrum walking in there just by himself. Doesn't seem like he has a whole lot of people to back him up. He is engaging with the saws, but he manages to go down, unfortunately.
Yeah, I believe they're going to be trying to go for an A point just because they have Crowdly on the GM sniper. But, I mean, we all know A is actually, you know, more tougher. Even though it is open, and in theory it does sound like a lot easier to grab, just for some reason B point is a lot more, like, for, like, attack-sided.
Seems like with the amount of angles you have to worry about on A, you know, people flanking in from the ramp behind bomb, underneath from the ramp's forward, or even people rotating off of B site that are facing behind the planter. It's a very hard site to plant, but if you can hold it correctly and lock it down, it is honestly one of the easiest sites to hold.
And now we notice Lecrum switch to the Susanoo and Valid on the gym. They're gonna find Sweet Peanut Butter, but it really does get a trade, and Hikaze does get also Russell Hobbs on the Z2R. So it looks like they're gonna be fighting a lot on B point currently. You know, nobody's looking at A really.
You see 30 seconds left on the clock. A plant still has yet to come out from Portland here. For Fun having a very strong hold. We did see the GM mines come out earlier in the hall. Looks like they may have gotten destroyed, but still those gym mines, do not underestimate the zoning tool they can be, especially in narrow corridors here on maps such as Quarry.
Like 10 seconds left. A lot of people on A, but they are low. The Ash Punch does go out, and Sweet Peanut Butter's Screaming Nimbus does go out.
And it seems like that is a 2-0. Really side of For Fun winning the games.
Yeah, wow. What a battle. Everyone's just fighting for their lives over here, trying to make sure that they secure their spot in playoffs. And we're going to see who is the fancy MVP, and it is Mr. Hockey. He got freed from sus jail.
We did see a lot of good, I think, team play there especially. We didn't see a whole lot of very impactful ults, but judging from the side of For Fun, it seems like they were a lot more communicative, a lot more decisive on what they wanted to do as a team. Portland seemed to try to capitalize out on the first match of R&D, where For Fun was trying to decide, hey, do we want to take this or do we want to take this? And that's why probably that R&D round was a lot closer. Whereas we see after that second round of R&D where For Fun kind of kicked it into second gear and realized, all right, hey, we need to not lose against this team. We need to take this dub now. And it seemed like they just, you know, were eating a 5-course meal by the time that it was already in Quarry.
Yeah, Corey definitely, you know, you don't know what's going to happen, but For Fun definitely held it down. But Burnsiders did try their heart out, definitely, you know, doing their best and kind of figure out what works, what doesn't work, because they did do those last minute unit swaps. But, you know, For Fun does come up on top. And thank you guys for tuning in on our Saturday. I know, you know, everyone loves Saturdays, you know, enjoying it. And so thank you guys for tuning into Crosshair League. And anything else we have to say, Garma?
I just also do want to again apologize for obviously the late stream here. I know our scheduled time was 6 p.m. and it happened to be around 6:30. Again, some issues on our end that we were able to eventually correct. But we do appreciate everyone being able to come out and hopefully make the stream at the later scheduled time. We hope you all enjoyed the games that we were streamed. And hopefully no other issues can happen again in the future.
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. That was sorry for the delayed start. There's there's some issues going on production end, so it won't happen again. But yeah, so thanks for the patience and understanding.
So we do not have the next update on when we will have our next broadcasted match, but keep live on the Twitter, or if you are in the Crosshair Invitational League Discord, we will be posting when our next match is. For other than that, the viewers back at home, thank you for tuning. My name was Hax, and I was also casting with
Dharma as always, and I'd say definitely look forward to the next stream game. We are looking forward to the next update, especially coming out with Camphor soon. Within a week.
yes, 3 days left for this season, so grind your battle pass, people. You guys take care and have a great night.
Your rest of your evening, folks.
Is it off?